Hey friends, welcome to the vid. You've probably heard people say things like bear markets are for building, and it's great that you're still in crypto right now and watching this vid. And a positive thing about the bear market right now that you might not realize is that a lot of projects coming out are really good and solid projects. And I know this without even having researched all the projects out there. And the reason that I know this is because right now, it is a crypto winter. There's no hype in crypto. Projects have to work really hard to get our attention, and they have to work really well, and they have to actually fix a real problem. And this is a blessing. This is a total blessing for all of us because it means we can have our pick of the bunch about what projects we want to look at and what projects we do want to set ourselves up in so we can build our portfolio now and gain the fruits later on. And one of the hot topics happening right now is the new chain Base, which is Coinbase's chain, which has just recently come out in the last month or so, and the project's building on that. SynthSwap is one of those projects, and it's worth checking out if you haven't already. It's from the creators of SynthSwap, which is one of the biggest DEXs on the Arbitrum network. It was originally slated to be released on the layer 2 ZK sync, but for a few reasons they decided to wait until Base came out, and they did a little rejig of the tokenomics, and now SynthSwap is out on Base. And it is a DEX, which is a decentralized exchange, and you can do things on it like swap various tokens on the Base chain. You can do staking, you can do yield farming, you can do liquidity, and a whole bunch of other stuff. You can earn rewards in their native token, which is Synth, and for some of the bigger pools, you can also earn blue chips in addition to this, like ETH. They also have concentrated liquidity, and they're also the only DEX on Base to be audited, and their audit is by PeckShield. So basically, they just have everything that a DEX has, and this is actually really significant because you can think of a DEX as, I like to use this analogy of the people who sold the picks and the shovels during the gold rush. Now, obviously, it was the diggers who were digging for gold that made it super rich, or they lost all their money mining and not actually finding anything. But the people who always made money were the people who sold the picks and the shovels. And in crypto, it's the DEXs and the swaps and things like that. They are the people selling this stuff. The native token for SynthSwap is Synth, and this can be traded freely on the open market, and you can also get it as a form of reward. There's also another type of token called XSynth, which is also given as a type of reward for yield bearing, and also you can swap Synth for XSynth at a 1-to-1 ratio. The point of XSynth is that it's a governance token. You also get a percentage of the shares from certain pools, which actually happen to change every month. And currently the pool is WETH and Synth. It's worth noting as well that the APRs on pretty much all of these pools are really quite high at the moment, which is really good. And this tends to happen for early on when there's not a whole lot of people actually providing in these pools. So I'm assuming that as more people get into it and as the pools grow, then the APRs are going to come down. But the thing is, though, is that when more tokens come out on Base, new pools are going to get created. And so the APRs on these new pools are possibly going to be a lot higher than what they are advertised right now. And I know you might actually look at the chart and think that, oh God, this project's dead, it's died, it's already had its run, but that isn't the case. It's actually far from it, and the team is actually building quite hard, and they are still working on their roadmap. For example, the launchpad hasn't even come out yet, and they are introducing futures very soon. And if we look at some of the DEXs of some of the more established chains, like for example, PancakeSwap on the Binance Smart Chain, you can see here that it's sort of got a similar chart in terms of what's been happening in these current market conditions, but this token actually 40x. And you can also see the chart for SushiSwap is sort of similar as well. It saw a lot of really good gains over time when it first came out, and obviously market conditions, it is where it is right now. And if we look at Grail, which is Camelot's native token, which is the biggest DEX on the Arbitrum network, then you can see, again, it's sort of got a similar chart, but this time it did a 20x. These type of gains, these type of 40 or 50x or 30, 20x gains, they can be there. And looking at the price right now, you could think, well, this is actually super cheap right now. So I think it's worth keeping an eye on Base as a chain. A lot of good projects are starting to come out on that. And even though there were a few projects with a lot of red flags that did initially come out on it, all of these have been done and dusted and they've been swept away as rightfully they should. And it's the quality stuff which is left over. And you've got to sort of do your best to think long term on this. You know, what is the project? What is it doing? What is it fixing? What problem is it solving? And is there a market for it? And are there customers who actually want to use it? And we can see that all the major dexes on all the other chains, that yes, there is all of these things. And as I said, this wants to be the major dex on the Base chain. And I'd love to know what you think about SynthSwap. Is this a type of project that looks attractive to you? I'd love to know either why or why not. Please leave a comment. And until next time, I'll see you all in the next video.